In this demo, I'll show you some examples of how you can use IBM Social Business Tools. These tools give companies a new way to work. I'll show you things such as search within IBM Verse, how Watson might answer questions in IBM Connections, online meetings, document co-editing using IBM Docs, expertise location with IBM Connections profiles, text and video chat, and finally, I'll show you how you can use file sync and share on your desktop and mobile device. So let's get started. Okay, so here I'll demo how you can search your email in record time. So sometimes information is buried in your email. You're not exactly sure where the information is. You just know it's in there somewhere. So you want a user interface that kind of helps you search in the way that you think. So for example, we know that the email came in from Lori. So you've got a type ahead filter. We know that it came in somewhere prior to this month, sometime prior to this month. We know that it contained a racing bike, so we add a keyword search in there. And we know that there was an attachment. There's a JPEG in there, so we want to get emails only with attachments. So there it is. You can preview the file immediately without having to actually fully download it. Okay, so in this example, let's see how you can crowdsource a response from your network rather than having to email spam your entire team. So if you look at this case, you may quickly need a response about visa requirements to a foreign country, in this case Turkey. So someone in your network, they might have the answer, and someone in their network might even have the answer. So let's wait, somebody might answer. In this case, however, notice that we have an even more complex and automated example where Watson, who's an artificial intelligence analytics engine, has the response, as well as an associated confidence level. You like it, you like the response, and it boosts that confidence level even more. Okay, let's go back to IBM Verse. Here, your calendar is always available at the bottom. You can mouse over to get details of each calendar entry. You can also enter the meeting directly from the calendar meeting. There's no tabbing between applications. So as you can see here, the meeting will start up immediately. So as the meeting moderator, I can even assign security of who's allowed to access the meeting. This can either be people who have access to Connections Cloud, as well as unregistered guests. I can even assign a password. I won't necessarily do that right now. I'll start the meeting off, and as you can see, you can keep an eye out for who's joining the meeting. Note, you can also start a conference call. So as you see here, you can have a toll-free conference call, and that can be accessible through regular phone lines or even VoIP. You can record the call as well, so that includes both your voice and things that are happening on the screen, including a screen share of your desktop or a presentation. And you can choose the format on how you want to be able to save that. Okay, so as you can see here, the meeting has started to record. Now you can share a file directly into the meeting from the library. So that's a file that I've already pre-uploaded. It's a PowerPoint presentation. You can cycle through the pages, highlight using a pointer during the presentation. Your guests can highlight as well, using different colors. As you can see, there's also a meeting stream that's available, so you can see all the things that are happening in the meeting. Also, of course, there's an online chat that you can participate in. So when you end off the meeting, you can generate some reports, end off the call, and you're done with the meeting. You click on Create a Meeting Report, save that report to your files, and you get additional information about what happened during the meeting. Okay, here I'll show you how to do a document co-editing session with a few colleagues using IBM Docs. So rather than distributing revisions of a document to multiple editors, these days it's more efficient to make changes directly to a document online and in real time. So we've selected a document, and at this point we're simply previewing each page. We haven't actually edited it yet. So when you click on the Edit button, so it brings you into an editor in which you're able to modify a PowerPoint presentation. So you can edit directly from your browser. And at this point, we'll also show you here how you can click a button to share the document with other folks. So there's a type ahead here where you can see that I'm sharing the document with Ling Xin and another fellow named Neil Santos, and setting them up as editors to the document. So they get a notification and they're informed that they've been shared with. So meanwhile, me as Amy, I am mentioning individuals, within the document in order to gain their attention. So I mention Neil Santos. Well, can you make some changes here? And then you insert them in different points throughout the document, right? And in this case, I'm informing Ling Xin of the same thing. And another quick mention is that this is a PowerPoint presentation, but this can be done for a Excel spreadsheet or a Word document as well. So what we notice is that so Neil has been informed and he's actually jumped into the document, and you can see his activity, wherever it is highlighted NS, in that little arrow, that's where he actually is within the document. And here you can see that this block is protected because he's actually, making changes to the document real time. And it's protected. Nobody else can touch this block except for Neil. And Neil has indicated within the comments that he's done, and he checks it off. Okay, back to Verse. We see that information about people is always available just by mousing over their profile. You can do things like start a meeting with them, compose an email to them, or even check out their online status. You can see all the messages, emails that you would have gotten from them, but in this case we'll show how you can check out their profile, and their profile contains a wealth of information about this particular person. If you start off to the left here, you'll see that you can add a tag, and you can also view the tags about this particular person. That helps in really finding the expert that you're looking for. Things that are in common, so you've got certain files that you've looked at, and also you're able to post to his profile, right? So similar to how you saw where Luis asked a question about visa requirements when traveling to Turkey. Well, you can post information here as well, and his people within his network will be able to see this. You can see where Neil sits within the hierarchy, whom he reports to. But then also check out his network. You'll find that, if Neil has expertise in a subject or two, well, imagine that you now also have access to people within his network of experts as well. So that's pretty valuable. And don't forget the basics. Of course, how to reach him, his email, his job title, his background, and expertise, and of course the files in which he's sharing, publicly. Okay, in this example, let's see both instant messaging as well as a video chat, between two colleagues. So in this case, Neil Santos, whom I'm playing right now, is initiating a discussion with his colleague, Jonathan Fu. And you can see that he's able to expand the screen here. And the idea is here he wants to chat about an idea that he's provided, and he's actually placed within a blog post. So it's an ideation blog post. So he pastes the link over to Jonathan, and as we can see, he goes to that blog post. So what we're showing here is the ability to actually snip a screenshot directly from his desktop. He's able to, there's a selector tool, selects the screenshot, and he's able to paste it directly into the chat interface here, just so he can highlight exactly, the idea that he wants to convey over to Jonathan. So they want to talk about it a little bit more, so they're going to start a video chat here. You can start that chat directly from the interface. There's that little camera button, and as you can see, the interface is starting up here. So there you have Jonathan. He's at the top there, and Neil at the bottom left. And as the sound is muted out here, but they're having a conversation. Jonathan actually likes the idea. He's read it, and he thinks it's a pretty good idea. So Neil's actually trying to convince him to vote for it, within the blog. So as you can see here, there's one vote right now. It's Neil's. So Jonathan, goes off and clicks it and, votes for that. And now there's two. So thanks, Jonathan. And you can see here as well that Jonathan has actually added some comments. And really, this is just to gain a bit more credibility on the idea itself. Okay, finally, let's see how you can share and sync files. So initially, let's upload the file by dragging and dropping from your desktop. And here you can see that you can take the file, you can tag it, to improve searchability. You can start to share it with different people as readers or editors. You can actually make comments to the file as well. Upload the file. So in one fell swoop, Ling has been notified of a file that's been shared. You can inspect the file, so you can view the file details and other things as well from this interface. But in this case, let's move over to Ling's perspective. So, he's on his iPad, and he's been notified that Amy shared a file. He clicks on the file and he downloads it so he can preview it immediately. Right? He's inspecting it off to the left, off to the right. Oh well, initially he can make some comments. So great file, thanks Amy. But as I was mentioning, off to the right, there's further information, metadata about the file, and he also has the ability to interact with the file as well. He can like it, and he can pin the file as well. Okay, and there you can quickly see that Ling Xin is the editor of the file. So what we're going to go here is Ling actually wants to see all the files that's been shared with him. So in this case, he selects files that are shared with me. And he sees all of these files, including the one shared by Amy. He can check thumbnails of them so he can get a quick preview. What we're going to show here, though, is an example of how he can actually add the files to sync. So he's adding them so that's actually being uploaded and synced whenever there's any changes that are made. This same process can actually happen on a desktop as well as a mobile device. So what he does here is he goes over to the sync folder, checks it, and sure enough, there's a couple of files there, and they're ready for him to have a look at any time that he wants, when he's offline.